to Windsor Castle Park and the historic house at Windsor Castle. We're in the laundry today. The other day we were in the kitchen. The kitchen and the laundry are the same building, most likely built in 1720 under Arthur Smith number 3. The building was then renovated in 1840 under the Jordan family. And as you can see, as we look around, you'll see evidence of a fire over here. Now, why does a kitchen need a laundry? Well, the laundry would have cleaned all the linen and clothing for the whole household. It would have been an area where they would have heated water, also could have been heating water outside, as well as doing ironing, scrubbing, spinning, and weaving. Now, we do know Windsor Castle had sheep at a number of different occasions, so somebody would have had to shear the sheep, clean the wool, carded the wool, spun the wool, but then they would have had a traveling loom come. There were people who were itinerant weavers, and they would travel from plantation to plantation, and they would weave the thread that was created there. Most likely these woolen coarse spun and coarse woven threads would have been made into clothing for the slaves at Windsor Castle. We do know there were slaves here. A lot of the slave records come from either wills, deeds, censuses, tax records, and in some occasions newspaper advertisements about runaway slaves or slaves for sale. So we do know that these people would be doing this hard work here. So on a nice day like today, you could be finding folks outside heating water, maybe making soap out of the ingredients of pork fat and lye around here, as well as heating water for scrubbing and maybe hanging clothing out on the line. So this would have been a hub of the cleaning in the area. So we have a lovely fireplace to heat the water. And you can see evidence at the top of a fire that was here, and a fire that did a lot of damage to the building. You can see termites had moved in much later on. So we do know that the Smith family had slaves. Arthur Smith number 4, who renovated and continued to build the house in 1740, also the namesake for the town of Smithfield, had 4 slaves upon his death here at Windsor Castle. Those 4 slaves in 1755 were listed as 2 older men, 1 girl named Sue, and 1 boy named Billy that still lived here. Now, at that point, Arthur Smith number 4 had moved in with his wife in Surrey, but he had left these 4 slaves here. Now, his nephew, Thomas Smith, actually inherited the property from him in 1755, and he had 28 slaves based on his will and upon his death. Now, that would have put him in the top 2%, second percentile of those living in Alloway County and the number of slaves they had. Now, his son, Arthur Smith number 5, he only had 18 slaves upon the sale of the house to Watson P. Jordan in 1838. Watson P. Jordan himself had we just had little bugs in here. We have bugs in here. We have squirrels in here. You know, it is an open building. We do know Watson P. Jordan updated the house in 1840. He probably added other things out here to the kitchen and updated that, replaced wood. You can see some of the wood that's here looks like planking from other outbuildings as you're going around. We do know Watson Jordan had over 21 slaves here at the Windsor Castle home area, and we do know that he used the slaves not only in the farm but in the house. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little camera and we're going to walk up the steps, because we feel that at least 2 families maybe lived over this kitchen, because there's 2 separate rooms. And we'd like to see I'd like you to be able to see those. It's a little bit treacherous, so bear with us. So as I'm walking, you'll see this small set of steps going upwards. And the interesting thing is, as we get closer to the steps, you'll be able to see the treads and the grooves that the treads have, where folks were walking up and down these steps. So we're coming up into the 2nd floor of the kitchen and the laundry area. And as we get up, you see it's a little bit darker. And we have 2 separate rooms, one on either side of the chimney. These rooms both have small doors. You can see this door has, and I'll focus in a little bit here, a very rustic, basic door handle that goes along to it, as well as we step into here, a very low roof. and you were getting heat from the back of the fireplace. So you can kind of see this kind of large enough for a family to live in this area. Just watch those nails coming out of the rooftop there. Now the second room that we have up here is a room, as we open the door, that has a hole in the doorway, probably for a kitty cat to come out of the door. In here, so we're stepping in here, again, much bigger room. There was a squirrel living up here, so you see much squirrel debris. Black walnuts was a favorite food of it. This is a larger room with its own fireplace. And as you're walking along, you'll notice near this window, there seems to be a trap door. This would have been the original entrance to this loft room down from the kitchen, but at some point they enlarged it, gave it a bigger door, and made 2 rooms out of it. So get an idea how this works. So most likely 2 families would have lived up here. They probably were working not only in the kitchen and in the laundry, but out on the farm. So we're going to take a second and step down back into the main laundry area. See how treacherous it is, as well as you see the grooves here. I'm going to hand this back off to Jennifer. Now a little bit about the laundry to kind of finish it out. One of the things that was left in the laundry that it was why it was so difficult. So all the fabrics were linen, cotton. You had to iron everything after you washed it and hung it out. And you would also have to fix the clothing, maybe sewing, making repairs. But this is an interesting piece that was left here. It is actually a crimper. It's kind of an odd looking piece. Well, you would put a hot rod in the little quarters here. They would heat each of these rollers. You would put a small piece of fabric in here and you would rotate it, and it would make little crimps in the fabric that then you sewed onto your dress. So kind of a very elaborate way of giving you pleats in that. So it's something that would have been done here in the laundry area, using the fire, using hot tongs coming out of the fire. So the laundry was a hubbub right next to the kitchen. A lot of things going on here, spinning, weaving, washing of clothes, ironing of clothes, but it was also home to some of the enslaved residents here at Windsor Castle Park in the house, starting in the 1720s, most likely, all the way forward into the after the Civil War. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of interesting tour. Again, this is an area that we don't get to go to on a regular basis, and you can kind of see the Spartan rooms and accommodations here at the castle, kind of the other side of the Windsor Castle homestead. So join us again. We'll talk a little bit more about the farm in a week or so. So tune back in. Thank you.